Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the BeelineSim series at Indianapolis. I am your host, Christian Snyder, and I'm joined by Nick Geilis, for I think like the fifth time. I don't know, I lost track this season. But he's up here in the booth with us. How's it going, Nick?
Oh, it's going great. I'm excited to be here for the broadcast, not just because, we're broadcasting together again, but we're at Indianapolis, and Indy, probably my all-time second favorite track, right behind my home track at Daytona. But I absolutely love coming here. It's so unique and so interesting.
I'm the opposite side of the spectrum. I hate Indy with a passion. I can't drive this track worth a passion, or worth whatever that word is. Um, yeah, I just can't drive here at all. I've never finished inside the top 15 here. I'm that bad. So I'd never race here. But yeah, it's sure going to be interesting to watch these guys go at it. There's a lot of great drivers in the field tonight, a lot of new drivers as well. So can't wait to go over them. But first, we'll go ahead trackside for our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam?
This is the finish line. You don't get here by quitting the race a few laps early, or by...
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
to Chuck and Larry, Kevin James.
I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the new national anthem. There was a commercial in the middle. I don't know what that was, but we're back. We're fixed up. We're ready to go. We're ready to rock and roll. And we're going to take a look at the qualifying results. Jonathan Boger on pole. Look at that.
Well,
Some speed here.
I wouldn't really with the practice that he had. He was, of course, the fastest car throughout all of practice. So unsurprising to me that he's on the pole. But I must say Caleb Sheets being third after a 52.9, 27th fastest, that I would say is probably more of the surprising aspect of qualifying.
The only reason I'm really surprised by Jonathan Boger up front is you don't usually see him qualify good. He usually comes from the rear and gets up to the front. Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see how he does starting from the pole.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Indy's just one of those tracks where if you know what you're doing and you have kind of a somewhat idea of how to get around here right, you're going to be fast. no matter what, whether you're fast somewhere else or not. This track is so unique in the fact that it is 4 corners. There are not really any of them that are the same. You could kind of say 1 and 3 and 2 and 4 are similar, but they all have their minor differences. They're all flat, I believe 8 degrees of banking. You have a full foot of bricks or a yard of bricks. I've had full foot, whatever yard, whatever I'm trying to say. But there's bricks. Right. It is the only track in the world that I know of still to this day that is a combination of asphalt and brick. You don't really see that too often. So it's unique in every aspect that is this track, and coming here and winning here, there's just something special. So when you have a good car and you can qualify well, it's going to help you possibly end up kissing the bricks at the end of this one.
Tell you what, that's a new paint scheme for Kurt Quist. 95 Gatorade car, that looks nice. Got some nice looking paint schemes out here.
Yeah, we got some talented painters out there in the league. Whether he's pulling them from one of the painters in the league or some of the fantastic painters that put their paints up for free on Trading Paints. No matter where they get them from, almost everybody's car out here is looking fantastic, or in some way or another eye-catching.
Now, almost everybody, what in the world? There is a Taylor Swift sponsored car.
And this is why I said almost everybody.
What in the world? Oh, it's Spencer Owens. That's rookie to the league.
He's representing the Tay-Tay.
Yeah. What does she call her fans?
I have no clue, but we are green.
Yeah, we are green. Rothenberger with a great start there.
And he's going to make the right move, jump up to the high line, get down into turn 1, right down on the low. You want to get right up next to those rumble strips, but you do not want to get on them. You will get loose if you do, and you can end your night really quickly.
A couple guys starting from the pits, not able to grid. We'll keep an eye on their progress through the night. Shouldn't go a lap down. This track's plenty big enough.
Well, I believe with the way iRacing works, they're going to be held for about 15 seconds as well. If I'm not mistaken, they get held for a couple of seconds before they're allowed to leave their stall. At least that's what it used to be. So I do agree, though, with as long as this track is and as big, 52 seconds to complete a lap around here, you shouldn't be going a lap down. But somebody actually is. They had not left pit road. They're sitting at the exit of pit road, so we'll see how that ends up working out for them.
Another one of the reasons I never really liked Indy, there's no real good place to pass, and there's never any really good battles.
My personal preference with trying to pass at Indy is you're really only going to manage it down the street, and you absolutely have to get to a guy's inside. You got to get up to about his door to really have a stake at it. Otherwise, they are going to be able to drive it in a little bit deep, get in there just enough to cut you off and make sure they hold on to the position. So if you don't get up far enough on a driver when you try to make that pass, it's not going to work. But it is doable, and I've seen battles here, but a lot of it kind of stems from how well you can get around them.
And we see a battle now, Stephen Massey and Jeffrey Ford here. This is for 14th place, as Jeffrey Ford has no other option but to just let him by.
And a lot of the times you can possibly run these cars too wide around here through maybe one of the two corners of a set, but you are not going to get around here on average running too wide all the way around the track. It's just not going to work.
Oh, we got a caution here. Oh, Daniel Reese.
That's a shame. That's one of our ECR rookies here.
Riding along with his helmet cam. Oh, it happens in front of him. David Bordney gets turned and he had nowhere to go. Oh, and then he didn't lock up the brakes and got into Matthew Hibbs. Just a big old mess down in turn 1 there.
And I'm not 100% sure on what happens. They actually kind of lagged out for me for a moment there. So but it did look like Hibbs got to the inside, but he was not able to get far enough inside to lay a claim. At least that's what it looks like to me before I lost the visual on.
Yeah, looks like Matthew had some lag going on. He tried getting underneath him, maybe locked up, got into David, possibly. Didn't look like it was intentional at all. It looked like he tried getting underneath him, braked a little bit too late, and then shot up into him.
Right, and that's pretty easy to do here. Just kind of one of those things that can happen. If you brake too late, you're just going to go straight off into the corner. You're going into 1 or 3 at about 190 some, and in the draft probably about 195, possibly 196, somewhere in that range. And when that happens, you're just carrying so much speed that if you don't scrub off the right amount, you're going to just kind of carry on out to the outside. So I believe the appropriate speed that you kind of want to get through 1 and 2 at is about 160. So this is one of those tracks where you really got to get on the brakes and use them a lot. If I remember correctly, if quite so many years ago, they were actually using Martinsville brakes here because they were using the brakes so much during the fuel.
Yeah, they had to use them at Pocono this year. They had to use a really big brake package, so maybe Indy they'll have to do it in real life as well.
Well, we'll certainly find out this weekend now, won't we?
Yeah, what I can't wait for more is tomorrow night, Eldora. That's going to be interesting.
Yes, real life wise. ECR had theirs last night, and it was a good race, but it kind of left a bad taste in a few of the drivers' mouth.
More than a few.
More than a few, yes.
More than a few. Only 6 trucks finished on the lead lap, but that's beside the point.
To be fair, it is dirt racing, and while iRacing did a fantastic job with the implementation of dirt racing, the way it works, it really the trucks, at least in my opinion, up until this update they just put out today, have not handled that well on dirt.
Yeah, no, they haven't.
I don't know if you've had a chance to test it with the new update on dirt, but they actually handle really nicely now.
Oh, that would have been nice, one day soon. But we have enough time. We can pull one person down into the booth under his caution. Who do you think we should? Who do you think we should grab?
Not really sure. How about Kurt? Kurt's usually never not one of the guys that's always up front, and he's currently running in 5th place.
All right, we'll do. I can find him.
I'd help with that, but my mouse stuck. Oh, you gotta love technology sometimes.
Alright, I found him. Here we go. Hey, Kirk West. It's Christian up here in the ECR broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hold on a second, bud. I'm trying to fix my. I'm stuck, dude.
Uh-oh. Oh, man. Did your wheel get disconnected?
Hmm.
Oh, we'll send him back down there. Something clearly wrong with his wheel. That's really unfortunate for
That's
him.
that is. He was running a great race up to that point.
Yeah, it looks like he's still having issues here. He's going to pull over and pull it off, it looks like. It could be the same thing that Ronnie didn't start this race with. His pedal wasn't working at all. He wasn't getting any gas with it, wasn't getting any brake. So, and that is looking like a similar issue. He's not having any throttle at all.
That's certainly unfortunate. We didn't really have Ronnie's problems. Didn't make the race, but you just explained it, which was very unfortunate for him. And it's looking like it's almost the same thing for Kurt. He's just disconnected from the lobby, so
Yeah.
It's a shame for him. And
well, we were going to talk to him, and we haven't seen him up front. And unfortunately, the broadcast curse happened before it even got up here. So I tell you, the last time you were with me, every time we interviewed someone, they wrecked or were in a caution. So I mean, this isn't a good start for us.
yeah, it seems like it might be a little bit of a curse. We'll call it the. Well, I don't really know what we could call it because that curse was effective when we were in Florida. And it looks like it's effective when I'm in Oklahoma. So I can't really call it the Floridian curse.
Yeah, I don't know. This is weird. It's only me and you. We can pull someone up into the booth 2 laps later. Boom, issue.
You gotta
I don't
love
know.
it.
It's the ECR gods.
Yeah, they don't like me.
All right, well, Jonathan Boger going to be restarting in the lead. He took 2 tires. That's an interesting note there. I believe Trevor did as well.
I would assume so, based on
No, he didn't.
everything we have.
Wow, everyone took 4 except Jonathan Boger. That should be interesting. We'll see if Jonathan can hold them off with 2 tires here as they go green. Good restart.
He does have the advantage of being able to go whenever he wants, if I remember the rules correctly, and they haven't changed. So he has that advantage, which does help. But overall, I just don't know if he's going to be able to hold on to it with him taking no tires versus 4 tires for everybody behind.
Ackerman with a little bit of damage to his right front. Possibly got it on that restart. Slight damage, shouldn't affect him that much, but yeah, the arrow is such a big deal here at Indy.
Oh, it absolutely is, with the top speeds of 195, 196 going into a corner, and then of course the downforce as you drop down to about 160, 170, somewhere in there, to be able to keep the car down where you need it. Aero plays a huge factor in how well you're going to go around here.
Ackerman moving into 5th place now as he's going to go under Jim Westerfield here in the 62 car. 66, Ralph Vanderhorst, I'm sorry.
So far in this race, Brent Morrow have to be your hard charger award. Starting 25th, he's up to 9th in that number 7 car.
No wonder he's drinking Jack Daniels. He's on a move.
Good old Jack number 7. And to note with Bruce Ackerman, he also started at 17th, so he's coming from the back as well. A few other guys that have made some moves, Stephen Massey and Jerome Gustin started 18th and 20th, they're 12th and 13th now. Not quite as big of moves as some of the others, but certainly coming forward, and we'll see how it plays out as we go further along. Matthew George is up there. You guys really up here at the front that we don't always see up here, and it's interesting to see it this week with the fact that, you know, Indy sometimes drives a lot like a road course, and some guys will actually end up out here that really don't do well at most normal ovals. They end up doing really well here. So just kind of one of those things about this track that it's so different. There's actually seen as an advantage. I've been watching Jonathan's being able to hold on to this lead with no tires over the rest of the field. So I guess the right call by him, no doubt. He's not pulling away like he was really on the first run there, but he is managing to maintain the lead, and that's what the important part is.
Yeah, those 2 tires really working out for him.
Oh, I thought it was none.
No, it was
My
2.
apologies. My apologies. 2 tires for him. Yeah, that's working out really well for him there.
Which maybe the setup was a little bit tight, and he thought, if I take rights here, it'll loosen it up a little bit.
It's possible. These cars are known to do that from time to time, much like the K&N car does. The K&N car is highly known for becoming loose after putting on only right side tires. So it's kind of one of those things, you loosen the car up a little bit. Obviously, it's a little bit easier on entry, a little bit easier on exit. I know I was struggling when I was turning some practice laps around here. It was really tight coming off the corners as we went along, and you just kept getting closer and closer and closer to that outside wall. So it's probably not the worst idea. Fuel, so with the fuel range being somewhere between 23 and 25 laps, he's kind of added on. Everybody's really going to be able to go to about 30 laps now or so, based on when they last had the caution.
Oh, there we go. Caleb Sheets just got into the wall pretty hard there off of turn 1. Smacked it hard, and Stephen Massey had to check up. He's got a lot of right side damage.
And that's going to hurt him, as we discussed with the Aero. Obviously, we're not NASCAR, so that's not a caution. Normal times, that'd be a caution, but overall, just getting into the wall here in ECR is not really going to be a caution. It's more going to hurt you. So it's why you want to keep yourself off the wall, essentially.
And you see Steven drafting right up to Caleb here. He's going to try him low here. He's going to easily make that pass work now with that damage.
And I am getting a report. Actually, only 18 laps max on fuel run. So, a little bit shorter than I thought it would be. I didn't think it was going to chew off that much of the fuel in the tank, but apparently it definitely does. So, 18 lap fuel run. I'd say they're going to be looking to come in here. Probably late 20s, early 30s would be my estimate. And it most definitely is one of the big benefits to this track is the fact that it is so long, and you just kind of get spread out, and nobody's really bunched up together, and cautions don't really fly quite as often as they do at shorter tracks, or even Daytona and Talladega You don't really see the big one. You kind of just see one car get into a wall every once in a while, and maybe you see some contact.
3 wide on the backstretch here.
As I'm talking about, we get strung out. They're going to go against what I'm saying. And hey, guys, we're going to go 3 wide now.
Yeah, something happened to the 62 of Jim Westerfield. Got way out of the groove, and then everyone just kind of ate him up, and it caused him to go 3 wide, and it got hairy there. But he's going to, it looks like, drop in line here in the 10th, maybe 11th.
Well, when you get out of the groove, coming off the 2 or 4, and you're just trying to keep yourself from hitting that wall, you go from running about 155, 150, somewhere in that range, to drop into about 130, honestly, to keep it off that wall. And it really kind of makes you rock in the water. You just sink backwards, and everybody's going to go around you. And you'll get your speed back up, but by the time, usually, you're going to lose 3-4 positions.
Yeah, Jim is now back to 13th after being in 4th place, so 9 positions lost by Jim Westerfield. That's going to hurt.
That is, and I'm sure if he's got a good enough car to be running up in top 5, that he should be able to get back up there. Probably just pushed coming off the 2, and just kind of lost enough speed to where he was getting blown by.
Actually, now that I look at it, the 92 has front end damage, and 62 has rear end damage. A very similar spot, and they were in 4th and 5th.
You might have been moved out of the groove.
Yeah, little chrome horn.
It's not uncommon to see Indy get it. Again, it just kind of carries on with how Indy is unique and special. You'll actually see it a little bit because a lot of the time that's the only way you're going to get past something, to be honest.
Kind of ride on board with the leader here for a few laps with the helmet cam.
Oh, we get a nice helmet cam. All right. Sadly, I don't think our helmet cam works quite as well as Fox and NBC's helmet cam.
Yeah, not as well now.
But it is a good perspective to see what the iRacing driver would probably see, as we kind of, if you don't have an Oculus, you're kind of stuck with that one straight out the window. You can look around. Obviously, you could set buttons for it to look around. If you only have a single screen, if you have triples, you kind of still are looking straight out the window. But guys with Oculus, they got it made. They really got it made, in my opinion.
This camera does sort of have an Oculus Rift type feel to it. It moves in the corner. We got a caution here.
Oh, well, that's certainly a different aspect here with us having a caution for once in the last one.
How about this? We'll ride on board with the helmet cam for the caution here, Josh Conover.
All right.
Let's see what happens here. This gets tight on exit, hits the outside wall, goes for a loop. Able to stop it from hitting the outside wall, so again, it is. He hit it once, but not too much damage, but that's definitely a good amount of damage.
It's going to be a while in the pits, and the car probably won't be the same afterwards.
But his race ain't over. He can easily finish this one out.
And that's too. Exactly, and that's the important part, is making sure you end up finishing the race with the way funds work in ECR, and you don't really want to let your owner down with the DNF, but at the same time, I'm not 100% sure on what championship he's running for, but if he is running for the Beeline Championship, those extra points with if you don't have a win, those extra points could help you get into the chase. So it's very important to go out and finish a race, whether or not you're even if you're not running for points, your car that you're driving is running for points, because we do have owner points. Owner points helps cars stay locked in. At least I believe that's how it works here. It's been a while since I've really gotten a refresher on that. I remember last season, if I remember correctly, we went off of drivers' points locked in, and I think this year
they're back to that now.
They did go back to that.
Yeah, the owner's points thing kind of fell through, whereas people were subbing in that owner's points car that just weren't that good and didn't really need to qualify.
Right. Well, it's understandable, and I'd say owner points would work for some leagues. This is just one of them where the way the rules work and the driver talent, it's just better to go off of driver points, and there's nothing wrong with that. Every league's different. This league is definitely, in my opinion, one of the best out there, probably the best league on iRacing. So again, might have a little bit of bias to it because we are broadcasters here, but I don't know. It just seems like everything that's done with the league is done the right way, and it's always good to see a league do right by its drivers.
That is interesting. Douglas Hess, fuel only. He'll be the leader here.
That is interesting. I believe the last caution was what, lap 7 or 8, and if everybody came down, that's pretty good time on the tires. Now, you can't speed up tire wear on this game or on iRacing like you can on some of the NASCAR games on the consoles. But even though we run with, I believe it's 50% fuel for this series.
Yeah, it's
you can run with 50% fuel, but you can't really change the way the tires wear. So tires are still, even with this car, going to wear the same way they did if you had a full tank of fuel.
And I see Kurt Quist got his car back on the track, so he got the pedal situation fixed. That's good to see.
I do believe he's a few laps down.
At 2 laps down right now, he's looking to get one of those back here.
2 laps down is not the worst situation in the world with, I believe it's an 80-lap race, so they got about 57, 58 laps to go. If my math, which I'm horrible at, is correct. All right. Math didn't fail me that time.
Oh, wait. Yep. Oh, no, it is 58. Yep, you're right.
All right.
All right.
I suck at math.
Yep. With 58 to go, and we're still pacing around under caution, we're just going to take a quick commercial break.
This is the finish line. You don't get here by quitting the race a few laps early, or by driving at half throttle.
The Desk Dash from BeelineSim. A fully functional USB-powered gauge cluster for your sim rig that comes with a 10,000 RPM tachometer, oil temperature, water temperature, oil pressure, and fuel level gauges. At BeelineSim, we integrate professional-grade gauges from Marshall Instruments, control hardware and software from simprojects.com, and our own cross connects and chassis fabrication to bring you a plug-and-play solution that is pre-tested, pre-assembled, and pre-configured. The Desk Dash has a programmable shift indicator, warning indicators, and your choice of orange or white backlighting with the flick of a switch. The Desk Dash, only from BeelineSim. If you're looking for realism, it doesn't get any better than this. This is the finish line. This is Beeline. Visit us on the web at BeelineSim.com.
This is the finish line. You don't get here by quitting the race a few laps early, or by driving at half throttle. You get here by giving it 100%. So if you're a sim racer, why would you settle for a steering wheel that's only 80% of what you need? Instead, upgrade your stock G27 with a full-size wheel from BeelineSim products. BeelineSim provides customized controls and systems integration for the sim racer that's looking for an extra edge over the competition. Our wheel upgrade kits are pre-wired to plug right into your G27 with no loss of button or shift indicator functionality. Everything comes complete, including a full-size 13.5-inch Grant Formula GT wheel, HDPE adapter hub, button plate made from 1/4-inch ABS plastic, along with all of the connectors and mounting hardware you need. So why settle for 80% of a wheel when you can have 100% with an upgrade kit from BeelineSim? This is the finish line. This is Beeline. Visit us at BeelineSim.com.
Alright, welcome back. Awesome commercial. Love it. The new setup for it. Beehive behind it. For BeelineSim series. BeelineSim products. Make sure you check them out. Links in the description. Check out their website for their products that you see on the screen. Trust me, those products will change your driving.
Yeah, a good wheel, a good button set, anything you could do to really upgrade what you currently have will always be an advantage. I've been using the same wheel for the last few years. Love to get an upgrade on it, but then again, I can't really race my internet. So likes to play tricks on me, so it doesn't really matter. But anytime you can improve that, you get better. I know one of our drivers, as we go back green, one of our drivers, John Cottle, his recently got a new set of pedals, and from what he told me, he's actually believes he's much faster now with that setup that he has now. Ackerman.
That's it. I didn't have the thing up, but yeah, Bruce Ackerman threw a block on Jonathan Boger pretty hard going into turn one. I mean, which you kind of have to do if you're going to keep your position early in the run, because, you know, track position is pretty much key here.
Absolutely, as we've covered pretty much all night as much as we can. It's very, very hard to make a pass here. It's certainly doable, but it is not the easiest thing in the world. I believe we're going to see an attempt at one right here, right now for the lead.
That we are. Bruce Ackerman trying to make it happen.
And he's going to get it done easily. Once you're that car in that outside line, honestly, your best bet is to try to let off enough to get back down to the inside line right behind that car if you have the room, and just drop back into position. Try to hold on as best you can.
Here's another pass. Now Jonathan Boger looking underneath Brad Moore here. He's going to make it happen. I think Brad kind of led him by there.
And I think it was a little bit of a product that Brad knows. You're going to have to get off a little bit more than you are on that top line. It's possible, if they're not far enough in, that you can kind of try to shut the door on them. But when they're as far underneath you as Jonathan was, then it's just not going to work for you, and you kind of just have to let the guy go. And again, try to fall in line as best you can. Now, my question is, did Brad take 2 tires or 4 tires? I'm assuming 2 to get out in the lead. Okay, then. Well, he's certainly dropping like somebody that took 2 tires. My opinion. But hey, he took 4. That's not really. I guess it's just kind of one of those things, you kind of get freight trained once you end up on the outside, whether or not you really want to, because you are scrubbing off that extra speed just to try to fall back in line. Everybody's going to close up on you and get that draft. Jonathan's going to look to go
we got a big crash.
All right, I was just going to cover out Jonathan's looking to close in on Bruce, but oh wow.
What happened there? Chris Watkins goes airborne here.
Now the question is a little bit of a repeat. Last night, did we have little bit of public relations going on, or did he just get airborne?
Oh, the 7 gets into the 6 a little bit, and then the 26 gets into the 2, and it just flipped him over. Oh, man. Nowhere for the 2 to go, and nowhere for the 26 to go, and the way he hit him in the tire, it just flipped him up over.
Wow. It's just one of those instances where it's just unexpected kind of accident.
Yeah, you don't expect to see a cup car or, you know, a stock car, I mean, flip over at Indy.
You really don't honestly expect an Indy car to flip over at Indy anymore either.
Yet we pretty much see it every year.
This is true.
Well, this year we didn't see any flips. We just seen a really hard crash.
Yes. And,
That was a terrible crash.
I believe it it Sebastian or Bourdais?
I don't remember.
It was one of the Sebastians. That's all I remember.
It was one of them Sebastians.
But wow, just wow, and it wasn't really so much like last night's where we actually had a truck get so high airborne it flipped over top of another truck. Another truck actually drove underneath an airborne upside down truck, which is where we got the public relations and the bird from last night for those that were here. but it was still you know, that was a moment you don't expect to see happen at Eldora, and this is a moment you don't expect to see happen at Indy in a stock car.
Tell you what, looking at the 2 car right now, he's still out there on the track. He's still driving it. He's trying to Dale Earnhardt this thing. It flipped over. He's like, put 4 tires on it. Let's go.
Put 4 tires on it. We're going to fix it up somewhat, and we're just going to finish this race because
forget fixing it up. Let's just go.
Yeah. I don't know. The car looks pretty banged up from my point of view.
Yeah, he's weebling wobbling. That's pretty bad. He's turning hard to the right, going straight.
So the question now is, who is going to be the leader coming off of the pits here?
That'll be Stephen Massey.
All right, Stephen. Now, depends on what type of decision he made here. As it looks like, from my point of view, Jonathan Boger is still sitting on pit road. I'm not sure what happened.
Yes,
He's leaving now. I don't know if he
maybe
received
he got
some
damaged.
form of either he got damaged or he received some form of a penalty for possibly too fast entering, something like that. I'm not 100% sure. But he was definitely in his pit stall for quite some time.
And Stephen Massey did take 2 tires, so that's what's going to put him up front. What do you say we pull him down to the booth and see what his strategy is here?
All right.
And again, he's in another one of those rooms, and I have to go find him.
And again, I'd love to help you, but my my mouse decided to tell me to.
Oh, hey, he's in the same room as
ask
Kurt
myself.
was. There he is. Bring him on. Hey, Stephen Massey, it's Christian up here in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you're going to be restarting up front here. Took 2 tires on that pit stop. You think you're going to be able to hold off all these guys with 4 fresh ones on them?
No.
That's a pretty good answer. That's pretty straightforward. I don't know. I mean, I seen Jonathan Boger take 2, and he was able to hold them off. So, you think the car is fast enough that you could make 2 tires possibly work?
No, if I was good at this track, I'd say yes, but I'm not good at this track. I actually was like 28th in practice up until right at the last moment. And the only reason I've gotten a little better through this race is because I watch people in front of me and I try to learn their lines. So I'm not good at leading, especially not here. So I'm going to do my best. I know the tire wear will be pretty even, honestly, on my left sides, and I should be able to hang with him, but I don't think I'll be able to stay in front of him, especially Bruce. He seems to be the fastest one right now.
And Bruce has that damage on his right front. He's even fast with that, so he's been surprising.
That's
But
impressive.
yeah, I know you were talking with Kurt Quist down in that room down there. He had that issue with the wheel or pedals or something. Didn't really get the full story because he was working on it. Did he get that fixed?
Yes, he got it fixed, and I believe he is back on the lead lap this time. He'll get the wave around, and he'll rejoin the field on the same lap. His Oculus Rift screen popped up, and I guess he couldn't exit out of it until he exited the room. So,
Oh man.
Oh wow.
yeah,
Well, my tip for you, Stephen, is just kind of try to ease it into the corners as best you can. Keep it down as close to the rumble strips as you can. Try not to get onto them, and just run your line as best as you can.
yeah, that's what I picked up from following behind some of those guys. The last long green flag run, I actually came from 15th or 16th up to 5th through that run, so I got a little confidence instilled in me. And then that last restart, I get up here with these fast guys, and they just made me look like I was pulling a 2,000-pound brick behind me. So
I will say you did manage to at least stay up there pretty well though with them. I did see you were closing in on Brad as that caution came out.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully, we're all putting on a good show for you guys.
Oh, you absolutely are.
All right. Well, good luck out there. We're gonna send you on back down to your room there.
10-4. Thank you, guys.
There we go.
So we are at 1 to green this time. They're double filing back up. Lights on the pace car are off. Of course, Stephen Massey is your leader. Bruce Ackerman is second. Brad Bohr is third. Trevor Rappolo is fourth. And for those of you wondering where Jonathan Boger is, he is currently in, I believe it is, looks like 17th position overall. So still not sure what happened there. What caused him to be on pit road so long, if that was a decision that he made or if something that happened on. But either way, it'll be interesting to see if he can get back up there.
Yeah, I don't see any damage on that car, so maybe just grabbing a drink. Maybe it took a little bit too long to grab it.
Not 100% sure. I don't really want to put something out
It's only
there for him.
speculations.
Exactly. I don't really want to confirm anything that we don't know of. So we'll just go with something happened. He's 17th, and we're going to see if he can't get back up through the field.
Here they come to the green here. Stephen Massey leading them. He goes on the pedal. He is gone.
Got a great start. We're going to see if Brad can't get a good enough start to try to get under Bruce. Not looking like he's really going to get there, so Bruce is going to be able to hold on to second. Brad's going to go to third. Not sure if Trevor's going to be able to get down in time to fall in line. It does look like he is. So Trevor will hold on to the fourth position.
And Bruce Ackerman already challenging for the lead here underneath Stephen. But Stephen going to hold on to it out of two there.
It looked like Bruce did not get the run coming off of two that he really wanted, and he lost a little bit too much speed and allowed Stephen to just kind of carry the outside line momentum to lead right back.
Stephen doing the old "you're not taking my draft" trick.
And it's a smart move. It can really work here if you do it at just the right time, because you move down there, they don't follow you. They're not going to be able to get a run on you really into that turn one or turn three. So it allows you that advantage of keeping them from really getting a run, and they just kind of have to sit in place behind you. And I am getting reports from the chat that the 08 is back on track for those that are interested. He's quite a bit down in terms of how many laps he is, but I mean, never say never. But it's just kind of one of those things where you got to question. I believe he from what I understood, he blew his motor. Is Bruce Ackerman's going to go underneath Steven. Steven didn't get the run off of or run into one that he wanted, and he is going to lose the lead because of it.
And Steven knew that with those two tires, he can't really lead, but maybe now that he's behind Bruce, he can just hold his line and be able to stay there in second.
And I think that'd be what he want to do. At worst, I think he probably wouldn't be too unhappy with falling back to the tail end of this little league group he's in right now, and just getting to follow them around and pick up their lines. It's one of the best ways you can really learn how to run a track that you're not quite so good at. And it seems like for most of the drivers out here, at least that I know of, they are complaining that this is not one of their best tracks. And it's a challenging track to master. It's a lot of fun, really, in an Indy car. But the stock car is a whole nother beast. It can be fun, but you really gotta put a lot of work in it to be good.
Spencer Owens doing a pretty good job in his first start. He's in 5th place right now. So a good solid top 5 right now for him.
And Jerome Gustin up from the 20th position is currently running in 6th, with Douglas Hess from 21st running in 7th. A good buddy of ours, Mr. Noel James, started from the 27th position, currently is in the top 10.
How about Todd Gilly doing a pretty good job here, sitting in 11th place?
Absolutely, driving that Noble 1 Ford Mustang. I can't believe I didn't burst into flames with that coming out of my mouth, but no doubt a good job by Todd. I do believe that he is also in that boat of not really enjoying it here, but he's doing a decent job. Jonathan Boger, for those who are, of course, still interested in how the guy that's been up front almost all races doing, trying to get back. He's only made up 2 positions so far. He's I correct myself, he's up to 14th now. He's up 3 positions from the restart. So he is trying to make his way back. He has plenty of time to do it, but I guess the big question is, will he do it?
He just absolutely dove underneath Andrew Melvin there, going into turn 2. Turn 1, I think it was. No, it was turn 2. It gets confusing watching this game.
It does get confusing, and we do have another caution.
I think Georgia looks like.
Oh, that's a shame. He was running great up in the 9th position.
Oh, it looks like Ralph Vandervorst as well.
Ooh,
Let's see.
he was running in the 8th position at the time of the incident.
So Matthew gets underneath him, and Ralph just didn't know he was there, kept coming down, and got into Matthew and pounds the inside wall.
And that's one of those things that can end up happening with, as we had been covering. You just you don't get far enough in, and they don't really know you're there, so they're going to try to slam the door down. And if you're there and you don't really back off, it kind of at that point is like you're really putting yourself at risk if you don't back out of it, if they just start slamming the door down. So it's just a racing incident. It's one of those things where you're trying to make the pass wherever you can, and it is hard to pass here. So just hard to do sometimes to make a pass successfully, and you got to really pick and choose where you make it happen.
Leaders are going to come in now here, and it looks like everyone again going to pit.
And I think we can guarantee Stephen will go with 4 tires this time around. Pretty sure I'd be safe to say the majority of the leaders are going to end up taking forward tires. It does look like somebody stayed out on track.
Ken Worley.
Ken Worley, all right. Hey, I mean, again, I'm not 100% sure on what series everybody's running in, or even if Ken's even on the lead lap. It doesn't look like he's on the lead lap from what I can tell. If he's not on the lead lap, then he wouldn't have been able to pit anyway.
By the way, guys, in the comments, if you can, let us know how the broadcast is. Last week we had some issues with some lag that we were told about. We're hoping that it's fixed this week so far. It says only 25 drop frames, so that is pretty impressive. So let us know. This is on a personal note. Whenever I get feedback, it helps me to become a better broadcaster. So your feedback helps.
And I guess I didn't really see it, but Ken had passed everybody before the start-finish line. So while I was looking down towards the bottom, he was up at the top. So as I was kind of going on there before I cut my own self off with it, whether or not I know what series everybody's running in, it is kind of one of those things where it is just important to try to get that bonus point to lead in the lap. Because owners, while we don't have owners points, owners do get paid at the end of the season based on how their cars did, who won the owners championship, all that. If again, if I remember correctly, that's how it was last year. I assume it still is this year. So it's important to get that lap. It does look like Ken came into the pits this time, from what I could tell. So looks like, and yep, he did. So Bruce Ackerman will retake the lead, and Stephen Massey will line up in second.
You know what? Maybe if Ken can save his fuel, he can make this a one more stop race.
And that could have also been part of his decision. You stay out there and you get that extra lap. You try to save an extra little bit of fuel, and it's a decision that has worked for drivers before in the past. It's definitely doable, but I'm not sure if it'll work here, to be honest. Indy's a hard track to save fuel at.
And yeah, Ken Worley did just shut off his engine, so he is saving.
And hey, it's a good attempt. I can't blame him for it. It's a nice try to make it a one-stop race. I believe everybody else, if he can do it on one stop, I think everybody's going to have to make two, other than him in that situation.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I believe you said it earlier, Spencer Owens running his first Beeline race?
That is correct.
Or is it just... All right, well, he's running third. So good job by Spencer Owens. He's got that number 38 car up in the third position.
You got to say it right, that 38 Taylor Swift car.
Oh, God, the Taylor car. He's Swift.
He's swiftly making his way up to the front.
Swifty. You got to get Swifty. You got to get Swifty. For all those Rick and Morty fans out there.
I never could get into that.
I never thought I would, and then I started watching it. It was actually a lot better than I thought it would be.
See, I'm more into things like, Arrow, Flash, DC.
I enjoy those. I enjoy those as well.
So that's why I like. Let me pull up his car here. Where's Dylan Schmidt? Where is he? There it is. Oh, well, it's in pit road demolished, but it is. It was a beautiful car. The Flash. Way to give him a little shout out there, Dylan Schmidt in pit road. Love the car, Dylan. Anyways, back up front. Now he needs to change the sponsorship of the Flash to just DC Comics. That way he can have the Flash, Arrow, and all of them. That way he can just have that whole comic base and have like a different comic character each race. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm more of a Marvel fan, so I'd rather see that, but that's my personal preference. I do still enjoy the DC TV shows, not so much the movies.
I'm pretty much a diehard fan of the DC TV shows, so I've kind of converted. As much as that, hurts me to say. I'm more DC now.
I've watched every single season of Arrow, Flash, and The Legend. So.
Still can't stand Batman, though.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the new movies.
Ben Affleck.
But either way, Face Car's pulling off, and Bruce Ackerman takes the outside line instead of the inside line. We'll see how that works out for everybody.
Oh, it should work out perfectly. He'll be able to enter the corner a lot better.
Absolutely, and I think it works out pretty well for Steven as he allows him to keep that inside line and hopefully fall in line in second. But Trevor Roppolo is going to make a run for it on the outside. The problem with that, though, is if Trevor doesn't make this pass, he runs the risk of falling into the clutches of the cars behind him as they fall in line, but it does look like he makes the pass coming down the straightaway and move into second place.
Now, Trevor and Bruce joined together. They came in the same recruiting, orientation, and they've been strong ever since then.
I don't think I've ever seen any grouping as strong as one John Schweikert and Brian Wilson a couple years ago, as when they entered the league and just kind of dominated from there on out in all series. Shame not to have them in here anymore, but it is what it is, and they're doing a good job, Bruce and Trevor, and no doubt every season really sees those rookies that are just great.
We got so many rookies up in the top 10, and you can see by the little R next to their name, that means they're a rookie. So first, second, fourth, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th are all rookies. So 7 rookies in the top 10.
And to be honest, there aren't too many of the original ECR iRacing guys that are still in the league. There are a few, a good handful. There weren't really many to begin with. The original season on here, it was a small season, and it's grew over time into what it is. But I definitely think this is certainly in regards to actually naming people rookies and whatnot. This is definitely one of the highest totals I've seen for rookies in the season. So.
And it's because of these broadcasts and because of people telling their friends about this. It's because of us, really, to get the word out on ECR, and you guys join it. And it is truly one of the most competitive leagues out there.
And at the same time, it ends up, you'll fight with guys, you'll have your arguments, you'll have your disputes, you have your differences, but it ends up being like family.
For some people.
For some people.
I can't
other times,
someone.
other times it ends up being kind of like family on Thanksgiving. For some families that have dysfunctional families on Thanksgiving, which is as being one of the people that has exactly. I'm kind of glad that I'm off at college and I'm not.
Yeah, see, our thing in my family is it's not a holiday unless we're fighting.
Hey, that sounds familiar. I wonder how many other people have that same concept for their family, because that is certainly one for mine. I'm going back for Christmas, and I expect two things. I'm going to Disney World, and there's going to be a fight. It's always fun though when you know somebody or your friends, or in my case, you're in a relationship with somebody who has never they've been to Florida once or twice. They've never really gotten to experience the thrill that is the wonderful city of Orlando, where we have Disney World and Universal and SeaWorld. And it's just so much fun to see somebody who's never seen them and their face and everything that it is to go there. I'm actually a little disappointed with Universal lately. They've been kind of throwing away a couple of the old rides. I know they got rid of Jaws. That disappoints me, but either way, it's a lot of fun to see. And it's kind of one of those things that I'd say everybody needs to try to do. Everybody in this league needs to visit Florida and go to a theme park at some point. It's my personal opinion, or California or whatever. But they're a lot of fun, and certainly been a good race. Bruce Ackerman just kind of looks to me like he's pulling away from Trevor a little bit, and he might have the dominant car here to finish this up. But Jonathan Boger kind of making trying to get back up there. He's up to 8th now.
While you were talking, there was a pass for 9th place. Jeremy Morrison moves up to 9th on Kurt Quist. They were side by side for about 3 corners, but Jeremy finally able to get it done and moves himself into 9th. And Jonathan Boger is back up to 8th, so his progress pretty good.
And we probably should, as you mentioned, he got around Kurt Quist. Kurt Quist that was the pass for position. Whether or not Kurt probably wanted to give that up is not really important. Kurt's on the lead lap, and I think he's just happy to be on the lead lap.
Absolutely.
And that's a great part about what he's managed to do. He's running in the 10th position after at one point being down two laps. So no doubt, Indy is one of those tracks where, because it is such a long race, that you end up in those kind of situations. And for a driver like Spencer Owens, who is, as you said, making his debut here today in the BeelineSim Series, running 5th place, he's 3 seconds off the lead, 3.5 seconds off the lead. But nonetheless, it's still one of those amazing things that here's a guy making his debut with the lead, and he's up here running in the top 5. I mean, it's just one of those things you got to be thrilled for a guy. As it looks like Jonathan Boger's gotten around Douglas Hess and is now up to 7th position.
I wouldn't be at all surprised to see that Leaf Filter Chevrolet back in victory lane at some point this season. He's already gotten there once. He's had a few top 5s afterwards, and he hasn't been the best car all season, but he's been one of the most consistent top 10 cars.
Absolutely, and that's, at least in my opinion, that's how you win a championship. According to NASCAR's new point system and the way that they do it, that's not how you win a championship, but my views on that subject differ. Either way, that is definitely how you make it.
Caleb Sheets proved that last season. He didn't win a single race. Still hasn't won a single race, but he has a championship under his belt.
Because he was consistent. And exactly. But at the same time, NASCAR's point system also allowed for it to happen. Given, I can't remember the last time in real life that a championship was won without a win.
I don't think it ever was.
I think it's happened once or twice.
You look that up.
I'm going to look that up. So I want to see.
Get back to us on that.
You got to have trends.
Brian Newman came the closest, getting second. That was not last year, but the year before.
And it was one of those things, and that was the first year that they had the new chase format, and everybody that I know of was pulling for Newman to win that championship without winning at Homestead, just to be a slap in that face in the season where they had said, you know, well, the champion is going to have to be a winner at some.
Yeah, winning is everything.
It was great.
Me, I'm a Kyle Larson fan, so I don't like Newman.
I remember that.
Yeah. But I digress. This is another thing about Indy. They're very long races. I thought for sure there'd be like, 20 laps to go, 10 to go, close to the finish. Nope. About 25 to go.
So, on winning a championship without winning a race, at least in the Cup Series, it has never happened. It has come close with Kwiatkowski, Labonte, and Kenseth all only taking one win their championship season. Terry Labonte, that is. Boyer actually walked away with one. The Truck Series, though, on the other hand, has had 2 seasons where they have not had a single victory. Oh, wait, correction. Nope. Nope, it was worded wrong. They only had 1 win in their season. So actually, from the sounds of it,
Never been done.
never been done in any series. So that's
Sheets
an
pulled it
interesting
off.
fact. That's an interesting fact. We got that. Caleb Sheets, only person ever to win a stock car championship without winning a single race.
That's interesting.
Fun fact. Or as I like to call it, trends.
Taylor Jack.
All right, yeah, exactly. That's the point.
You know who else hasn't won a race yet and is towards the points lead? Actually, 2 drivers.
No, I
Ronnie
don't.
Norman and Brad Borer. Neither of them have a win yet, but they are first and third in points
Now you are talking about this season.
this season.
Because Ronnie Norman has wins.
No, he doesn't have wins.
Well, not this season.
Yeah.
He has career wins.
Truck series, yeah. Even Massey got into the wall on entry there.
Yeah.
Not too hard, though.
It looked like he just kind of scraped the front end along the inside wall, but I mean, just the fact that he got sideways like that's going to cost him a lot of time.
This was more than likely what he was saying, has that he was hitting the wall. Oh, crap. But in another word, that is not PG. So.
Absolutely. Trying to keep it professional, not use un-PG words.
We'd like to get laid back, especially if Anthony or Josh are up here.
We'd call it mostly a PG-13 rating. We might drop a couple every once in a while in terms of
Not currently rated.
no words. I know where the internet. Nothing is rated on the something.
Yes. Yes. Mostly with a lot of X's, but
Right. Mostly it's rated as not rated. We digress. Trends. At this point in time, I know Spencer Owens is your leader, taking 5 bonus points there in his debut race. I'll keep bringing that up. It's kind of important to me that he gets to be known as it's his debut race, and he's putting on a great show
Playing
for
a
everybody.
drinking game, there you go. Anytime we bring up Spencer Owens in his first race, just take a shot.
Yeah, and it looks like Stevens lost quite a bit of time on Bruce. It does look like he's still up around him. Actually, I stand corrected. He lost a lot of time. Bruce, 37 seconds behind the leader. Stevens, 56. So
I find this surprising, but Ken Worley has made his pit stop. So I thought he was going to stay out until the end of the run.
I would have too. It looks like Spencer Owens and Jonathan both are going to try to stay out as long as they can.
Oh, they're both in right now.
Oh, they both hit pit road now?
Yeah, they've been in. Now they're pulling out as... Oh no! Jonathan Boger spins the tires. He tried taking fuel only, it looked like.
Now.
Oh no, he took two and spun the tires on exit. That's going to hurt him.
Now, the question is, was he able to keep it under him at least?
No, he lost a lot of positions.
Oh, jeez.
Strategy would have worked out had he not got loose.
Absolutely, it would have helped him out. But as you said, he's just didn't lose too much time there. Much like Steven lost a lot of time. Many of the cars he was in front of, he is now behind. He's currently in 16th place. It's just one of those things that can happen when it looks like possibly he had maybe too much rear brake in the car. One of the things you can adjust even in a fixed series is brake bias. So it's possible, but we'll see how it all plays out. As Bruce Ackerman does go back to the lead, Trevor Garoppolo is second. You can see how much it actually ended up hurting Spencer to stay out as long as he did. Everybody else that, as they'd call it in Formula One, he went for the overcut instead of an undercut. And by doing so, he lost a lot of time on the leaders because they're all running out there on fresh tires. And many of our fans won't know this, to be honest, but they're running around on fresh tires. Their lap times are way faster. And because of this now, Spencer has lost ground. He's 9 seconds behind. He is on the freshest tires on track. But again, 9 seconds behind. And it's a gamble you risk by staying out longer. Everybody's strategy is their strategy. You make your strategy to how you want to run it. There is really no wrong strategy until it loses you a race. Once it loses you the race, then it's the wrong strategy.
Well, with 20 laps remaining, we're going to take another commercial break. And we'll stay right with you. You won't miss a thing. But once we come back, we'll be commercial free to the end. So stay with us.
This is the finish line. You don't...
The Desk Dash from BeelineSim. A fully functional USB-powered gauge cluster for your sim rig that comes with a 10,000 RPM tachometer, oil temperature, water temperature, oil pressure, and fuel level gauges. At BeelineSim, we integrate professional-grade gauges from Marshall Instruments, control hardware and software from simprojects.com, and our own cross-connects and chassis fabrication to bring you a plug-and-play solution that is pre-tested, pre-assembled, and pre-configured. The Desk Dash has a programmable shift indicator, warning indicators, and your choice of orange or white backlighting with the flick of a switch. The Desk Dash, only from BeelineSim. If you're looking for realism, it doesn't get any better than this. This is the finish line. This is Beeline. Visit us on the web at BeelineSim.com.
This is the finish line. You don't get here by quitting the race a few laps early, or by driving at half throttle. You get here by giving it 100%. So if you're a sim racer, why would you settle for a steering wheel that's only 80% of what you need? Instead, upgrade your stock G27 with a full-size wheel from BeelineSim products. BeelineSim provides customized controls and systems integration for the sim racer that's looking for an extra edge over the competition. Our wheel upgrade kits are pre-wired to plug right into your G27 with no loss of button or shift indicator functionality. Everything comes complete, including a full-size 13.5-inch Grant Formula GT wheel, HDPE adapter hub, button plate made from 1/4-inch ABS plastic, along with all of the connectors and mounting hardware you need. So why settle for 80% of a wheel when you can have 100% with an upgrade kit from BeelineSim? This is the finish line. This is Beeline. Visit us at BeelineSim.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Christian's going to step out for just a fraction of a second. So we do have, excuse me, Bruce Ackerman is still leading this race. He's got a basically 4-second lead over Trevor Roppolo. Brad Bohr is running in third at 6 seconds behind. Jerome Gustin is fourth. Spencer Owens fifth. He has made up a couple positions, not really the ground since making his pit stop, but either way, running in fifth place. Good job for him. Douglas Hess is sixth. Caleb Sheets seventh. Jeremy Morrison is eighth. Kurt Quist is ninth after recovering from being 2 laps down after he had an issue with his Oculus. Andrew Melvin 10th. Nathan Casillas 11th. Stephen Massey 12th. Ralph Van Divorce 13th. Ken Worley 14th. Josh Conover 15th. David Borden 16th. Todd Gilly 17th. Jonathan Boger with his incident leaving the pits is currently, actually he just fell back to 19th. Jim Westerfield moved it up to 18th. That is a rundown of all of the cars on the lead lap. Matthew George is the first car 1 lap down. He is in 20th. Earl James is the second and only other car 1 lap down. He's currently 21st, and we actually have a caution.
I'm here.
And at least Christian made it back in time for the caution. So
Let's see what happened here. Oh! Oh! There, miscommunication here. Jeremy Morrison did not let Kurt Quist know that he was going into the pits. Kurt Quist went to go underneath him, and he went for a spin.
Oh, now that's a shame. How much damage on Kurt's car?
No damage at all.
Well,
He had damage already from when he hit the wall when his visor or Oculus Rift went black, but no damage from hitting the wall on that one. He locked it up and spun it.
Absolutely. So at least in those regards, he managed to keep the car clean and be able to continue on. So that's important. This one of those miscommunication issues. Kurt obviously wanted to hold on to the position that he had, or he could have even possibly, maybe he was going to try to and just kind of lost position on when he needed to hit the brakes, or because he was behind him, carrying a little bit too much speed when he hit the brakes.
Should be fun.
Absolutely. Ken Worley managed to go a lap down. I don't know if he went a lap down before that caution occurred, but he is a lap down currently. On another note, I don't think we'll see any more pit stops after this one. Or really, we won't see any pit stops for fuel, at least. If my math is correct, I believe it is 14 laps to go. Little interesting tidbit here. From what I can see, I'm showing that Bruce Ackerman is on lap 68, but on the broadcast, it's showing that they're currently on lap 67. So either my thing is messed up, or we're on the wrong lap on the broadcast.
IRTVO shows them on like one lap behind. I don't know why, but they show not
They
not
don't
the
show it
lap
like
that
it
they're
should be.
on, but the lap that they completed.
Have completed. Okay.
Weird,
So,
weird.
yeah, kind of like F1 does, but F1 counts down. Essentially.
All right. Well, now that Kurt Quist is out, let's reattempt to speak with him. We've only been talking to Redline Racing tonight. Hey, Kurt Quist, it's Christian up here in the ECR broadcast booth. Giving it a second attempt. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm sure you're not too incredibly happy with what happened there. But we wanted to know what happened. Was it just miscommunication, not knowing he was pitting, or did you try to get an advantage on him coming into the pits and just missed where the cones were?
No, I felt like he just got the OL, and I think that that's justified because he didn't say anything, and I was right on him, and he didn't declare he was pitting, and yeah, it was just not what I was expecting. And then he slowed down way too much, and I got right on his door, and I had to lock him up, really. So, but overall, I'm happy to be on the lead lap after what happened there. That was not a good situation, but we'll see if we can get a top 10 here.
Yeah, we were keeping an eye on that. We saw that you were in the top 10. We were happy for you that you were back up here. So hopefully you're able to possibly get even a top 5 out of this. So wish you luck, and go get them.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, so just some miscommunication, which can easily happen. You know, spotters not telling you, hey, the car in front's pitting. Well, in this case,
Well,
it's just the driver not calling it out.
Right, because I was going to say, it's really going to happen because iRacing spotter is not sophisticated enough to tell you
I so
the
badly
guy
wish.
in front of you is pitting.
See, that's why whenever I do official races or like, you know, the NIS series, that type of thing, I make sure I have a spotter. I hit up Ronnie Norman. He's one of the best spotters out there.
Oh, yeah.
And he spots for me, and I spot for him, vice versa. So.
I tell you what, if my internet worked enough for the cars not to bounce around every 20 to 40 seconds, I'd spot you at the super speedways. I've been told by Steven and a few others, I do a really good job at that. I actually enjoy it too.
Yeah, I've only spotted for 2 people, and they both told me that I'm a fantastic spotter. It's honestly not that hard. I mean, if you call out what you see, you let your driver know, hey, this is where the runs are coming. It's so easy to be a human spotter in iRacing.
Yeah, and I mean, I'd say it's probably easier at some of the smaller tracks. Daytona and Talladega, you eventually run out of breath because you are almost constantly on the mic with it.
I make sure I have 2 water bottles, a snack, and, you know, possibly some cough drops at the 200 lap Daytona race if I'm spotted.
I'll tell you what,
prepared.
I'd love to see a league, whether it be this one or another one, where every driver has a spotter, and every driver has a crew chief.
I have been pushing for that. I myself would have a spotter. I would sucker Ronnie into it because, you know.
I just think a lot of leagues, and I know it's a view here, it's a view at another one that we starting up pretty soon, where it's just a little unfair if, you know, only 1 or 2 drivers have spotters. If we could guarantee that the majority of the league had spotters, or at least pretty much everybody in the league has spotters, I think in that scenario, many leagues that view it as an advantage second spotter would then say, all right, everybody has a spotter. But until that point in time, I just don't think it's really a feasible option for the leagues to allow it.
It needs to be like a dedicated group to just spotters and crew chiefs. That way we can go and recruit them.
Exactly. I agree. And the pace car, by the way, is pulling off. You'll never guess who our leader is.
Jonathan Boger back out front. Holy smokes.
I'm not sure. I don't think he did it, to be quite honest. Either he
We got another caution.
Wow, that's
Caleb Sheets.
quick. Oh, we're just talking about him not that long ago. It's the only champion ever to not win a race in his championship season.
Oh, he blinked out. I think he blinked out and pulled himself off to the left and hit the wall on his own.
And I've seen it happen where you kind of blink out and you lose pace of where you are, or you get a what we used to call a screen rape, where the screen just kind of freezes up on you. You can still hear everything going around behind you, but you kind of are still pulling the wheel to the left, and when you come back, you're just staring down the wall.
Tell you what, Jonathan Boger took 2 tires on that pit stop actually, and finds himself in the lead. So that's pretty impressive that he beat all those cars on pit road there.
Well, it was a decision that I feel he probably had to make, to be honest.
Question is he going to be able to hold off Trevor Roppolo, last week's winner, or Bruce Ackerman, who's been the fastest car after Jonathan Boger lost the lead?
It'll be interesting to see. We know he did it earlier in the race. I do think when he did it earlier in the race, though, they hadn't been on the tires quite as long as they did on this one. Another rebound performance so far is Stephen Maxey's gotten himself back up into the 8th position. So not quite the rebound he was probably hoping for. As we all know, he'd probably rather be up in the top 5. But nonetheless, after a horrible entry onto his pit stop the last time, it seems like pit stops he is still running pretty well.
Alright, so this late in the race, we normally would have already done this by now, but whenever I went downstairs and came back, that's normally the time I would have done this. Who do you think is going to pull this one off and win this race tonight?
Well, it's really a toss-up because we do have Jonathan out there on 2 tires. Don't know how that's going to work. Trevor's been good. Bruce has been good. Spencer Owens has been sitting in 4th all race long. Brad Bohr's been up here all race long. So, honestly, it could be anybody out of the top 5. And apparently, we are receiving a report that the ticker has disappeared from the broadcast.
It has now reappeared.
10-4.
Whenever I did the rundown of the results, it took the ticker away. IRTVO, curse it.
And yes, Spencer, for your comment, we are making fun of your Tay-Tay comment.
Very much so. Very swiftly.
Swifty.
Oh, Swifty.
Gotta get Swifty. Gotta get Swifty.
Swifty. Gonna be the new phrase all season for him. Swiftly getting up front. You know what? We got one more lap under caution. Let's just bring him into the booth.
Go for it.
Hey, Spencer Owens, it's Christian up here in the ECR broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Well, you've been making yourself swiftly up there up to the front. Play on words there.
I
But
saw that.
you've been up front pretty much all night. Do you think you got anything for these boys up front?
It all depends on the restart. Honestly, I'm not very good on the restarts, and I can't honestly keep up with these guys after a few laps. Honestly.
Well, this is your first race, and it's honestly been pretty impressive for a first race as they go. So you've been doing pretty good. I mean, a top 5 for a first race would be incredible. So, just try to keep it in one piece, and hope you have good luck here, and hopefully the broadcast curse doesn't grab you. But Nick, I'm sure, wants to talk about it because he's been saying Swifty all night. He's been talking about your first race. I think it's a drinking game at this point.
Well, I would, but I think we got to move him back up there pretty soon. Although you guys at 2 to green or 1 to green? Because I'm a little confused by everybody getting lined up. Okay, so I guess we do have time. Yeah, I've been kind of bringing it up with Tay and you got to get Swifty, but it's been a good race for you. And overall, I got to say, you got to have a Jeff Gordon restart of your life moment, but I do think you can get it done if you get one of those moments.
Yeah, we'll try. Well, just depending on what kind of jump I get. It can go either way. I could go to the front, or I can go all the way to the back. I don't know.
Well, you're in pretty good company. The last guy I remember that made his Beeline Series debut at Indianapolis and ran top 5 all night long. He ended up with a top, if I remember correctly. Oddly enough, I ended up signing him the next week to drive my cup car, and that man is John Cottle, so he's had a pretty decent career. So you've got some good company there, and either way, we'll send you back up, and we hope you up with a great finish here. Hopefully, you can kind of keep that streak going, top 3 for first debut at Indianapolis.
Thank you guys very much.
That was Spencer Owens there. I've raced with him for a few years now, so glad to see him finally come over to ECR. I'm sure Ronnie put in a good word for him over there and in the league that they run in. But yeah, Spencer is a good guy. He believe me and him raced in an NIS race, a fixed race, and he helped me push me to the win. So he got me my first NIS win.
Hey, there you go. So we're going to restart, I believe, with 5 laps to go. I would say next caution is probably going to end it, to be honest.
On a bad restart for Jonathan Boger. Trevor Roppolo is right there on his door.
And Spencer did not get the restart that he really needed. He is most likely going to be able to hold on to 4th at least. He's actually making a comeback on the outside. Nope. He's going to fall in line, but Trevor making a good move there to try to get around that. How about Jonathan?
Yeah, Jonathan just did not have the start he needed. Unfortunately, he's going to lose that lead late in the race here.
And he's going to lose 2nd place as well, as Bruce Ackerman's going to dive below him.
And there's the
3rd.
caution.
That's going to do it.
That should do it. And it's Stephen Massey blowing up. See what happened. Jerome. Yeah, Stephen Massey was underneath Jerome Gustin. Didn't go and enter exactly at the right time, and Jerome just turned down on him and sent him spinning.
Just the product of what happened. So Trevor will end up as your winner here tonight. IndyCar takes 2 weeks in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
That is 2 weeks in a row.
So it's win for him. Bruce Ackerman will come in 2nd. Jonathan Boger, bad restart. Probably seems like he might have got some wheel spin. So shame for him. He goes from first to third. Spencer Owens will round out fourth. Brad Bohr is fifth. Douglas Hess sixth. And essentially, the reason we're calling this out with 4 laps to go is even if they were to get the 1 to green in this race, it would most likely happen on lap 79 of 80 and by ECR rules.
They
Cannot have exactly cannot have a 1 lap shootout. Now, to be honest, we could be mistaken, but I haven't seen a 2 lap shootout in quite some time. So I don't know if anybody pits. I think that'll definitely end it. That's a guarantee at that point.
Oh, Jerome Gustin pulled over here. He didn't pit, and Stephen Massey spins out again under caution here.
Wow. It's not the way he wanted to end this race, I'm sure.
He locked up the brakes because he didn't see Jerome Gustin down on the inside, and he spun out again because of Jerome Gustin. Wow. He's got to be a little disappointed about that. I don't want to say angry. I don't see Steve getting angry.
Nah. I mean, sometimes.
I don't know.
I wouldn't see him really getting angry in an ECR lobby, but I could certainly after last night see him getting angry in the public lobby, especially wanting Talladega, K&N cars, where people seem to be idiots.
If you're in the public, people are idiots everywhere on iRacing.
This is true.
Yeah.
But it seems to be worse at the super speedways. Everybody thinks that they're Dale Jr.
Well, I am, so you know.
Hey, I mean, we got Brad Keselowski.
I side draft so tight at plate tracks. People get so furious at me. They're like, dude, why are you side drafting? It's like 30 to go. Like, because I want to get to the lead.
But we do have Brad Keselowski. He rushes to his hotel on weekends to try to race with us.
Yeah. he goes by the name Ed Adams in this league. I don't know.
Yeah. It's apparently his alias, but
must be Brad Keselowski's like mentor that he just took his alias. I don't know.
We're about 500% sure that it is in fact Brad Keselowski.
I'd say 510.
Yeah, 502.
Okay. Yeah, because there's that 8% that you're just like, maybe.
No, I was just going because his car number is number 2.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. Well, then in that case, I'm 522% because it's the BeelineSim series, and they race the e-cars. So.
It's true. They run they run the discount tire Ford Mustang.
There you go.
As I catch it immediately on fire for saying that.
Listen, Fords are awesome. Ford is in victory lane tonight.
No.
I drive a Ford.
I refuse. Refuse. Fords are terrible. GM. I drive a Saturn. Ford. It's better than most Ford.
Listen, I'm going to own a team next year, and it's going to be Ford. So.
Hey, you own a...
Wait, did I just announce that? Oh, well, I guess I can break the news now. Yeah, I'm going to be owning a team next season. Whether I have the money or not, I'm going to pay to have enough funds to buy it. So I'm going to have a 3-car team here in the BeelineSim series next season, if they're still sponsoring. Don't know who our sponsor is yet. I think it's a 1-year contract, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see what happens next year. But I'll be owning a team here in the series next year, so you guys won't have me in the booth next year. Aw. So sad.
Yeah. You already own a team in another league on Saturday nights, but he drives Chevys in that one.
Yeah, well, in my defense, The only car that there really is a Chevy. The other ones are just glorified Chevys. They're all
You know,
Chevys.
some
Just
of
all
them actually,
glorified Chevys.
they don't look that nice.
Yeah.
The Dodge turned out the best in my mind.
So has the Chevy lights and
It,
grill.
it does. Okay, to be fair though, I don't know why we can't just have a mesh grill on that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why do we have to have this giant open hole in it? But either way, this is going to be the final lap here for the BeelineSim series from Indianapolis. Trevor Rapolo is going to, of course, take it home, first place. Bruce Ackerman second. Jonathan Boger third. Spencer Owens fourth. Brad Borders fifth. Douglas Hess sixth. Nathan Garcia seventh. Ralph Vandervoort eighth. Kurt Quist rebounds to ninth place. And Josh Conover 10th.
All right, we're gonna get these interviews started now so that we can get it done, because it's already 11:15. So we're gonna get them started here. Jonathan Boger, this is Christian Snyder up in the ECR broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, I know you haven't pulled in yet, but we figured we'd get our interview in before you pull in, since it's so late here on the East Coast. Congrats on finishing third. Unfortunately, you weren't able to stay up front and due to something that happened in your pit stop. We were curious what happened early in your pit stop. You were in there for like 34 seconds. We didn't see any damage. So what happened there?
On that pit stop, I got speeding, so I stayed so I could tag the end of the field. So it put me behind a eight ball for the rest of the race, pretty much.
Oh man, that's unfortunate. Yeah, Nick had guessed that you were speeding and that you just stayed in your box to do that way. But yeah, that's unfortunate. But hey, you come back up from like 18th the whole way to third. So congrats on that. Finishing in the top three. Anyone you want to thank?
I'd like to thank my whole team, sponsor, Leaf Filter, and then Anthony, the whole team for letting me drive in the BeelineSim series for him this year.
All right, well again, congrats, man, and we'll go ahead and grab second place here. If I can find them. These guys are impossible to find tonight. Hey, Bruce Ackerman, it's Christian up here. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy, buddy.
Well, you're gonna finish second. You're still out there on the track, so we're radioing you in. We're trying to get these interviews done since it's 11:15 on the East Coast.
I got you.
But congrats on second place. It seemed like you were one of the fastest cars tonight, but Trevor able to use strategy and pull ahead of you, and then Jonathan also getting that strategy held you back. So. Was there anything you could have done differently to get that win tonight?
You know, if it went green, I would have definitely gotten the win. You know, the 17 staying out there put me in a bad position on the outside, and you know, if it would have went green from there, I would have caught him and passed him. He just didn't have the tires to even hold us back. You know, I think right there at the end, once I got past the 17, I had a good chance of running down that 9 car. It just, the caution came out and ended the race.
Yeah, and unfortunate caution too. And this race was a really good race. Only I think 6 cautions. Oh no, actually, I'm sorry, 8 cautions. That's more than I thought it was. But yeah, not too bad. 8 cautions for Indy for 80 laps. So you guys did a hell of a job out there. Gave us a great show. So again, congrats on second. Nick, do you have any questions for Bruce?
Not really. You basically covered everything that I was going to ask him. So I guess
Awesome.
just you got anybody you want to give a shout out or thank?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Scott Hunsinger, throwing me in this car. Anthony, running such a great league. We have a lot of fun over here. You guys definitely in the booth. You guys always throw on a good broadcast. I always watch it the next day, and everything seems really interesting with that. And you guys have a lot to say. So I really enjoy that. And Trevor Rapolo is a really good buddy of mine. We race together a lot, and we try to push each other to be fast, be competitive. So I really like to give a shout out to him.
All right, man. Well, again, congrats on your second place. We're gonna go ahead and bring our winner down. Nick, you want to get him whenever he comes here?
Sure, why not?
All right, here he comes. Go ahead, Nick.
Oh,
Yeah,
my mouse isn't working, so I apologize. But
there you go.
Trevor, welcome to the booth. How's it feel tasting champagne 2 weeks in a row?
Well, the champagne tastes good, but the sweet taste of bricks on my lips is even better.
Absolutely. It's certainly one of the most unique tracks on the circuit. It's really one of the most unique tracks in the world. So anytime you get a chance to kiss those bricks, you're gonna pucker up on that one like it's your wedding day.
Oh yeah, man, I'm using tongue.
So what did you feel like? I didn't really get a chance to understand what your strategy was there at the end, but what strategy call did you make to make sure that you got there to the finish line first overall?
Yeah, thanks. I definitely didn't have the fastest car tonight. I think Bruce certainly was the class of the field, and I think the 17 was looking pretty good there too. I know at the end he didn't come in, so he wasn't going to be an issue unless unless we got a really quick caution, which we did. But luckily I cleared him, before we got over there into turn 2 and the caution came out. So, strategy wise, yeah, I'd come in and got 4 tires. I think every time tonight, I don't think I was trying 2 tires. I had track position, so I didn't need to, get it. And I think tires were pretty important tonight. So, yeah, good run overall.
Absolutely, man. You got anybody you want to give a shout out or thank tonight?
Yeah, Stephen Massey and Redline, he's up there every week, and something happens to him. He's showing a lot of speed. He's gonna get one of these soon. Yeah, but thanks to him for letting me drive. Also to Bruce Ackerman, I think he mentioned it in his interview. But we kind of push each other to go faster and be better. So thanks to him for helping me out there. And thank Anthony and you guys for running the league and for broadcasting these things. It's lots of fun, man. I think that's two in a row. So things are going good right now.
Absolutely, man. Well, congratulations on the win, and thank you for your time.
Thanks, man.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for us here in the BeelineSim series. Another win by Trevor Rapolo. Rapolo, as Bruce said. Is it Rapolo or Rapolo?
It's Rapolo.
Rapolo, okay. Usually I get them all right. I'm sorry, I got it wrong. Okay, so Rapolo.
No worries.
I got it from now on. All right, so Trevor Rapolo in victory lane 2 weeks in a row. Trying to be another Christian Snyder up there. But yeah, this has been a great race. On behalf of BeelineSim products and ECR League, we thank our viewers. Make sure you like and subscribe. And tune in next time here on ECR League YouTube channel. Also, catch ECR Hub every Friday night. Make sure you tune in for that. We'll have a race recap of the Truck Series, the BeelineSim Series, and the Pit Stop Designs Cup Series. So we'll get to that on Friday. Make sure you're there. Thanks for watching.